Hello everybody and welcome back to the Tune-In. Today we will be going down our list for 10 best tours, so
let's get into it.
Alright, so I'm going to be starting on my list. I'm going to do my full list and then later on he'll do his. I don't know how much time we're going to have today for me to
get through it.
To see how many I'm going to do, but we're just going to get what we can in. My number 10 for best tours is the Purple Rain Tour.
I honestly expected it to be higher, but I knew it was going to be on there.
Yes. Now, it went from November 4th, 1984 to April 7th, 1985, and it had 2 legs. It had 98 shows, which was kind of surprising, but it's just an amazing tour. It was Prince in his pop star heyday when he was just like blowing up.
Yeah.
And it's so good. Like, he had a backing band of Prince on vocals, guitar, tambourine, and keyboards. Wendy Melvoin on guitar, great guitarist. Brown Mark on bass, Matt Fink on keyboards, Lisa Coleman on keyboards, and Bobby Z on drums.
What was the set list? You don't have to list the whole set list.
The set list had a lot of songs, but like the first 5 songs were Let's Go Crazy, Delirious, 1999, Little Red Corvette, with an interlude of Yankee Doodle, and Free, which is a song off of 1999.
So it had a lot of 1999 and Purple Rain in there?
Yeah, but just great tour. And actually, the attendance was 1.7 million people.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Which is crazy for a freaking 2-leg tour only in North America. Just a really great tour. Awesome album. And just
There's
really
a live
good.
album from that tour, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, Prince and the Revolution Live, which is great. I have it on vinyl and CD, but it's really good. My number 9 is the Farewell Yellow Brick Road tour
Elton John.
by Elton John. Now, this lasted from September 8th, 2018 to July 8th, 2023. So like 5 years.
Yeah.
It wasn't all at once. It was over a period of time. So it's really not that much. It was 330 shows, 9 legs, 6.1 million people were in attendance.
Yeah.
And the box office, guess how much money this thing brought in?
Probably freaking like truck trailer loads.
$939.1 million in the box office.
That's almost $1 billion, right?
That's almost $1 billion. Yeah.
I mean, people love Elton John.
Yeah.
Great pick, though.
But it's a really good tour. First, I'm just going to kind of do the first 5 songs off of each because there's a lot of songs on these. Benny and the Jets, All the Girls Love Alice.
Oh.
Don't know that song?
I like that song. It's good.
I guess that's why they call it the blues. Border Song and Tiny Dancer. Of course, Rocket Man's on there, too. But a really cool tour. I've seen so many videos of it.
It's a Disney Plus concert film. I've seen a little bit of the video on Disney Plus. It's pretty good.
Yeah. But it spanned across Europe, North America, and Oceania.
Oceania.
No, wait.
Which is basically...
I think... Oceania? Okay.
Isn't that just Britain? Or am I...
I'm not
We could
exactly...
be horribly wrong. Just put up where it is on screen.
Yeah. Great tour by great artists. I don't know why my throat is starting to fade. My number 8 is Serious Moonlight Tour by David Bowie.
Okay.
Now, this tour lasted from May 18th to 1983, had 8 legs and 96 shows. Actually, not a huge tour. I thought it would have gone longer, considering David Bowie is such a monumental artist and has so many songs.
I've never heard of that tour. Was it supporting an album, or is it just a
Let's
tour?
Dance.
Oh, okay.
There's a line, Let's Dance Under This Serious Moonlight or something in Let's Dance. So it's a great album, or a great tour, and Let's Dance is a great album. And the attendance was 1.5 million people,
Okay.
or 2. I think it might have said 2.5 million. So look it up, or just put it right here again. Was it 1.5 or 2.5? But Let's Dance is a great album, and this tour is really good. The 5 top songs, Look Back in Anger, which I think is a song off of his Lodger album. Heroes,
Yeah.
really great song. Golden Years off of Station to Station.
Okay.
Fashion off of Scary Monsters and Super Creeps, really great album. And the title track. The title track off of Let's Dance. Wow, that set list is really good. Go look it up if you would like to, but there's like 25 songs, so I'm not going to get to it all.
So far, your tours are pretty good.
Yeah. Thank you. I was like instantly cocky about it. Yeah. My number 7?
Yep,
Yeah, 7. Is The Victory Tour by the Jacksons.
Okay.
Now,
I feel like I may have heard of that, but
yeah. Great tour by a great band. It started on July 6th, 1984, and ended on December 9th, 1984.
Oh, okay.
There were 55 shows. The attendance was 2.5 million people.
Dang, for only 55 shows, that's pretty good.
Yeah. And the box office, it brought in $75 million,
Nice.
which is $227 million in today's money.
Dang.
So that's a lot of money for only 55 shows. That is not bad at all.
Was this supposed to be like the Jacksons' last tour as a group?
I think so. They did one more concert in 2001, which is really good, and you should go watch it. And
Okay.
I could show that to you sometime. But I'm pretty sure it was supposed to be their last time performing, since it wasn't going too well and everything. First 5 songs on the set list, Want to Be Starting Something.
Oh, they did Thriller.
Things I Do For You, really good song. Off the Wall, the title track.
I didn't know they did MJ solo songs. That's,
Ben with a medley of Human Nature.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And This Place Hotel, which is a great song written by Michael. Yeah, there's not that many songs on the set list, but it's a great tour. It's actually, in my opinion, it's very iconic, and I think more people should know about it because the shows were awesome. So please go check that out. My next tour is Piano and a Microphone Tour by Prince. Now, this is actually sad. Very sad, actually. He started it in February 16th, 2016, and the last show was April 14th, 2016.
I'm going to assume that was his last show.
Yes. A week before he died. And it was just Prince, a piano, and a microphone. It was incredible. Since he was getting older and weaker, he was just sitting at a piano, but the stuff he could do on that piano was incredible.
Now I'm interested to hear the set list because,
Yeah.
I mean, how do you take Prince songs that are like bombastic, like Let's Go Crazy or 1999, and just have them one man and a piano?
Yeah. And a microphone. I'm kidding. No, but I don't know why there were 2 legs. There were 11 shows in Oceania and 9 shows in North America, totaling to 20 shows only, which is pretty sad. The 5 top songs, Big City, which is off his last album, Rough Enough,
I can only assume what that song
spelled
is about.
like this,
I'll reiterate it. What can it be about?
Little Red Corvette, and Dirty Mind Medley. The Dawn, which
Never heard it.
I don't know if I've ever heard that, and Money Don't Matter Tonight, which is off of Diamonds and Pearls. Really great album. The encore had Starfish and Coffee, really great track. Paisley Park, and the last song was Purple Rain.
I was gonna say, they seriously didn't play Purple Rain. That
Yeah.
sounds like it. I don't know. It just sounds like an interesting idea to do Purple Rain with just Prince and a piano.
Yeah, and it was so pretty. Like I said, that was his last show, and a week after that, he would pass away. So it's pretty sad, but great tour. Even though it was so short, it was very powerful. If you watch videos and you hear his voice, it's crazy. Like he sounds older, but he sounds powerful, and he sounds like he's singing with meaning. So I think it's really, really great. My 6th tour. Now, you might be a little surprised by this.
Okay.
The Wall Tour by Pink Floyd.
Yeah, I am kind of surprised, actually.
So, first of all, the only reason it's up this high is the freaking set.
They made a wall on the stage.
Didn't they make a wall while they were playing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like it slowly built up.
But the set alone, you have to have a good set to have a good tour. So I just think it's freaking awesome. Started February 7th, 1980, and ended in June of 1981. It had 5 legs and 31 shows. And that's not surprising that it only had 31 shows, because
It was
each
so
time
expensive.
they had
to take all that stuff with them.
Yeah, or they would have to get new truckloads of stuff to bring and then fly it in, and that's a ridiculous amount of time, first of all. Just spending building, and then you have to take everything, and just crazy. First 5 songs on the set list was In the Flesh.
Yep.
I don't really know these songs, so I'm not going to lie. I really don't
I
know.
think the set list might just be the whole album in order, I think.
In the Flesh, The Thin Ice, Another Brick in the Wall Part 1, The Happiest Days of Our Lives, and Another Brick in the Wall Part
it's
2.
Literally just the whole album played through.
Okay. But really cool tour. Like I said, the pictures of that tour are crazy. The way they would build it and everything.
Yeah.
Freaking awesome. My number 4 tour is the History Tour.
Oh, by Michael Jackson.
By Michael Jackson. Great tour. Probably one of his most iconic. It had 2 legs, 82 shows. Went from September 7th, 96 to October 15th, 97. And the attendance was 4.5 million.
Dang.
Brought in a startling amount of $165 million.
Dang.
$327.96 million in 2021 dollars is what this says. But it's a great album. The 5 songs,
Tour.
Yeah. Oh, tour. Shoot, I'm sorry. We do so many videos on albums that I feel like I'm talking about an album constantly. So, sorry. The set list opened with a medley of Scream, They Don't Care About Us, and In the Closet.
That sounds cool.
Wanna Be Starting Something. Stranger in Moscow, Smooth Criminal, contains elements of Childhood, which is a beautiful song.
That's an interesting pairing.
And You Are Not Alone,
Okay.
which is a great top 5 songs.
That's really interesting.
It went to 57 cities, 35 countries. Insane. And the second leg of the tour promoted the album that came out after that. It was like a remix album, Blood on the Dance Floor.
Okay, yeah.
No, that's not my favorite album. It's really not an album. It's just a compilation. But it's okay.
Title song.
I'm sorry if I touched my mic. But great tour. So yeah, please go check that out. That is all we have for you today. We will be back tomorrow to finish my list and probably start his a little after that. So thank you so much, and see you next time. Okay, so hello everyone. We're back. Today we're just going to finish my 3 albums, and then tomorrow, over the next couple days, we will finish his albums. So
Tours.
Tours. Dang it. Sorry. Okay. My 3rd album.
Tour.
Oh, my tour. My 3rd tour is the Dangerous World Tour by Michael Jackson.
Don't
Ooh,
do that.
I'm going to make people mad. It started June 27th, 1992, and ended November 11th, 1993. It had 3 legs and 69 shows. And it had an attendance of 3.5 million people, which is pretty huge for 69 shows. And it brought in $100 million to the box office, which is equivalent to $217.67 million in 2021. So this tour was just great. Sadly, it was obscured by certain events, but it was such a good tour. Probably one of Michael's best, in my opinion. Yeah. The top 5 songs, the first one is like one you wouldn't know. Well, none of us would know. I don't even know it. So Jam, Wanna Be Starting Something, Human Nature, Smooth Criminal, and I Just Can't Stop Loving You. Oh.
That's a pretty good set list.
And all of those songs are just great. But this tour is just so good. Like,
is this the one tour where Michael Jackson like popped out of a box?
Yeah. He popped out of the stage and stood there for like a minute.
Yeah.
And everybody would, woo! Sorry, that was probably really loud. But everybody would cheer and stare at him and just clap for like a minute or 2 minutes straight. And I don't think you could find that today.
The only reason I knew about the whole popping on stage thing is because the musical MJ is about him preparing for the Dangerous tour.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. You've seen that. It's a great album. It went through Asia, Europe, North America, and South America. But I don't think there were any shows in the U.S. I don't think there were, just because, press was horrible to him in the 90s, even the 80s. So I don't think he ever really liked touring in the U.S., but just an incredible tour. And I wish you would go check this out and you would go check this out. Just watch a concert from it. It is incredible. My second tour, such a good tour. The Love On Tour by Harry Styles.
Okay, I have never heard of that.
Really. It is so freaking good. This tour, I remember while it was happening, like watching, there were like people that would record it and like put it on like a live on TikTok. Yeah. And I would just like sit there and watch the concert, and every show seemed to be so good. It went through Asia, Europe, North America, Oceania, can finally say that right, South America. Started on September 4th, 2021, and ended July 22nd, 2023.
So decently long tour.
Yeah, it had 7 legs and had 169 shows, which is crazy. This tour is just great. It brought in so much money. Let me look.
It brought in so much money.
It brought in.
Again.
I can't remember. Wait, let me look this up real quick.
Hours later.
Okay, so it brought in $617.3 million, which is, I mean, it's still a lot, but 400 million away from $1 billion, so that's crazy. But it was and still is such an amazing tour. And I don't think we could. I cannot talk today. I don't think we could see this again in modern times, like for years to come. Just so good. The set list, the top 5 songs on the set list: Golden, Carolina, Adore You, Only Angel, and She. Those are some really good songs. Songs you might know: Watermelon Sugar, Kiwi, which is really good, Sign of the Times.
Not to be confused with the Prince song, Sign of the Times.
Or the album, yes. But Adore You's a great song, Golden's a great song. A really, really good tour, and I personally think it's one of the best modern ones of our time, so this is really great. My number 1 tour is Bad World Tour by Michael Jackson.
Nice.
For the longest time, this was the biggest attended tour and biggest box office turn-in of all time. It had 7 legs. It started in September of 87, and ended in January 27th, on January 27th of 89. This tour is so great. It went for like 2 years, which is crazy. Had 7 legs, like I mentioned, in 123 shows. Attendance was 4.4 million people.
Nice.
And 125 million came into the box office, which is $317.8 million in 2021 dollars. This tour is just incredible. His dancing was on point. His singing was on point. Bad is just an incredible album, and it's his number 2 album ranked for Michael Jackson. So please go watch our video on ranking Michael Jackson albums. Just so incredible. I think it's one of his best tours he ever did, and honestly, I think it's like unmatched to any tour.
What's the set list, or like the first 5 songs?
The first 5 songs: "Want to Be Starting Something," "Things I Do for You," really good song. "Off the Wall," "Human Nature," and "Heartbreak Hotel."
I'm starting to see a theme of Michael Jackson tour starting with "Want to Be Starting Something."
Yeah, because it was the opener to Thriller, and I think that kind of influenced.
And the energy.
Yeah.
Plus, "Want to Be Starting Something" is the start of the concert.
Yeah, but some other big songs you will most likely know off of this: "Bad," "I Just Can't Stop Loving You," Thriller, "Shake Your Body Down to the Ground," Billie Jean, "Beat It," "Working Day and Night." "Lovely One" is a beautiful song. "Rock With You," Jackson 5 medley, "I Want You Back," "The Love You Save," and "I'll Be There." 3 really beautiful songs. And "She's Out of My Life." I just named the whole set list.
Is there like encores, or is that
No, that's just the set list. But such a great tour, and I couldn't say more about this. So Go check it out. You go check it out. Thank you so much for watching this section of the video, and I'm sorry this will probably take 3 or 4 parts to for us to finally finish, but we will get there. So see you next time.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the next part of the video. We're going to start my list now, so let's get into it. All right, at number 10 on my list is Elton John's Farewell Yellow Brick Road Tour.
Awesome.
Yeah, just an incredible tour, a pretty long tour, like 5 years I think you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, just a great farewell to a legendary musician. He covered a lot of his work in the tour. There's a Disney Plus movie on there if you want to watch it. I'm not going to say too much about this tour because we went in a little in-depth, I cannot talk. We went in-depth about it in the last section of the video when we were reviewing Brodie's list.
I'm sorry, what?
So that's pretty much all I have to say about the tour. Brodie kind of said a lot of what I was thinking.
Yeah, and I don't mean for this half of the video to be unfair to him, but if a lot of the tours match up, I'm not going to show all these pictures because you've already seen everything. So I just want you to know that I'm not trying to be unfair towards you.
I didn't think you would be.
Okay.
All right, so my number 9 tour is Alice Cooper's $1 Billion Babies Tour.
Never heard of it.
I mean, what is there to say about Alice Cooper? He's
crazy.
Yeah, he is crazy, but in a good way. But let's see, it went to 64 concerts, 59 cities in 90 days, and the gross revenue of the tour was anticipated to be close to $20 million, but only about $4 million was achieved. And this was the tour.
Really?
You'll see in a sec why.
Okay.
So this was the tour where Alice Cooper started to perform more of his complex theatrics, and they even brought out a guillotine on the stage and had like a fake executioner, and they had like a lot of equipment. So they had 40 to 50 people employed to move all the equipment, and for the tour, 2 semi-trailer trucks carried, not limited to, a dentist drill, 4 whips, a surgical table, 6 hatchets, 33,000 program books, 300 baby dolls, 22,000 sparklers, 58 mannequins, 280 spare light bulbs, 1,000 patches, 6,000 mirror parts, 14 bubble machines, 28 gallons of bubble juice, and 250,000 packages of bubble bath.
Yeah.
You can probably guess where that money went. It went a lot to theatrics, but I think it makes it worth it because it makes it a more interesting show for the audience. So I just think it was a pretty cool tour, innovated for the time, because not many bands were doing theatrics at that point. Can't really find like a set list for the tour on Wikipedia right now, but I would assume it probably included a lot from Billion Dollar Baby, School's Out, Killer, basically all those albums. So that's my thoughts on this tour. So my number 9 tour.
You mean 8?
8, yeah.
I don't mean to be silent, but if I don't know anything about it, I'm not gonna just blabble my mouth.
That's fair. My next tour, number 8, is Rush's Time Machine tour.
Never heard of it.
This was, I think, their last tour, and just what an incredible tour. I'm trying to see. Let's see. It had 2 legs and 81 shows, so pretty decent tour. It went from, on Wikipedia it says, June 29, 2010 to July 2nd, 2011. 2011?
Wait, didn't you just say the same?
I said June 29, 2010 to July 2nd, 2011.
Okay, I thought you messed up. I don't.
It went through Europe, North America, and South America. There's actually both a live album and like I'd say a concert film, but I think it was like a DVD of one of the concerts in Cleveland, Ohio. The first 5 songs of the set list are Spirit of Radio, Time Stands Still, Presto, Stick It Out, and Workin' Them Angels, which are some pretty good songs. They actually played Moving Pictures in its entirety at the Cleveland concert.
Really?
Yes, they played the entire album. So that's pretty cool. Just a really cool show. They had a lot of visuals in the background. And it's just a fun tour to go see Rush. I mean, they're not even past their prime. They still played incredibly well on the tour. So
really?
Yeah. I mean, Geddy Lee's voice might have been a little lower, but I think he could still sing pretty well.
Do they still perform to this day?
They don't. The drummer died.
Oh, Neil
Peart, yeah.
Wow.
I think he died of some sort of cancer in 2020, which is a tremendous loss to the drumming world. That's basically all I have to say about that tour. All right, at number 7, once I pull it up, let's put in the 2 hours later graphic.
Oh, I just snorted, wow.
All right, my number 7? 7.
Yes, I think
7 tour is the Rumors Tour by Fleetwood Mac.
I know the album, never heard of the tour.
Just, an incredible album, and 2, an incredible tour. It had 5 legs, 96 shows, and went from February 24th, my birthday, to February 4th, 1977, to August 30th, 1978, which is pretty cool. Promoting the Rumors Tour, you can probably assume that. And they went from
Rumors album, you mean?
Yes, Rumors album.
We keep messing that up.
North America, Europe, UK, Japan, and Oceania, which we can now say is Australia and New Zealand.
Yes.
They played, I don't have the set list on Wikipedia, but I remember most of it. It was a lot of stuff from Rumors. They had some stuff from their self-titled album, which was the previous album, and sometimes they would play Oh Well from the Peter Green era, which is pretty cool. But just an incredible tour. Fleetwood Mac in their prime, though they were probably doing a lot of illicit substances. One in particular I'm not going to mention. I'll see if you can guess it later.
Okay.
But just an incredible tour. And again, the band in their prime, so.
I'm guessing the one that rock stars use in the 70s.
Yeah, well, there's 2 main ones I'm thinking of.
Okay. Anyway, let's move on.
Anyway, that aside, just a really cool tour, so that's why I put it at number 7. Number 6 is Led Zeppelin's 1973 North American tour. So, there were 2 legs, 34 shows. It went through the US and Canada. It was associated with Houses of the Holy because that was the previous album they released. It went from May 4th, 1973 to July 29th, 1973. I don't know why I paused. But either way, just an incredible tour. Led Zeppelin started to get more into their theatrics. They had like lasers, a spinning wheel behind them. The band started wearing more like extravagant outfits. Just a really cool tour. Definitely on, like, if I had a time machine and I could go back and see a tour, this would probably be pretty high up on my list. but they actually started using their private jet, the Starship, for this tour to get between tour dates. So the average set list at the typical set list for the tour started with Rock and Roll, Celebration Day, Black Dog, Over the Hills and Far Away, and Misty Mountain Hop. This tour had The Song Remains the Same, which was, nope, I'm not going to say it. Go watch my live albums video if you want to figure it out.
Yeah.
Which is just an incredible live album. Song Remains the Same. One of
the live album video.
Yes, the live album video. But yeah, just a really cool tour. And if I could go back in time and see a tour, this would definitely be up there.
Yes. So it looks like we're running out of time. Sorry that we have to cut it so short, but we will be back on Monday to finish this off. We might not even finish it on Monday exactly, but
we don't have school Monday. We'll finish it
True.
on Tuesday.
We'll finish it on Tuesday. So thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Are you good? Hello everybody and welcome to the next section of the video. We're going to hopefully try to get through the next 5 tours on my list, so let's get into it.
The fourth section of the video.
Alright, so my number 5 is Queen's Jazz Tour.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
There were a couple tough picks. I was thinking of picking something from one of the earlier periods, like the Sheer Heart Attack Tour. But I went with this one because I feel like it has like a good, well-rounded variety of their material up from Queen 1 all the way to jazz. So I think that's to the tour's benefit. They actually did a release party in New Orleans with a bunch of stuff I can't say on this channel, so I'll just show Brodie and we can watch his reaction. Now that Brodie's sufficiently traumatized, let's continue. But yeah, it's just a really cool tour. They really started to get into the more theatrics of the tour. I'm trying to think. They did a lot of stuff. I'm just gonna pull up the set list.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Oh.
But yeah, I mean, Queen were known for their wild parties. The average set list, the first song was "We Will Rock You," "Let Me Entertain You," "Somebody You Love," "If You Can't Beat 'Em," and "Death on Two Legs." And "Death on Two Legs" was done with a medley with "Killer Queen" and "Bicycle Race." Just an incredible set list, and I think it deserves to be on the top best tours because if I had a time machine, I would want to go see a Queen tour. So if I had to pick one, that would probably be it. So that's why I put it on the list.
Cool.
All right, number 4. You're going to agree with me on this one. Michael Jackson's Dangerous Tour.
Yes. Yeah.
Just an incredible tour. I'm not going to say too much about it because we covered it in the first section of the video. Just a really cool tour. Again, Michael Jackson started to get into his theatrics a lot more, which I think is pretty cool. Just a really cool tour. I would say Michael Jackson in his prime because he has the strength of Off the Wall, Through Dangerous behind him, which I think are some of his core albums.
Yeah.
So don't really have much to say because we covered it in the first section of the video, but that's my thoughts on that tour. All right, number 3 is Genesis's The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway tour.
I have nothing to say about it because I literally have no clue what this tour is.
I covered Genesis, I think, a couple of videos back in both Deep Cuts video and our last random record pool. Go check them out if you haven't. And just an incredible tour. It kind of reminds me a lot of the Wall tour because they did like total theatrics. They played the album the whole way through with all these elaborate costumes. They had projections. Just a wild tour. The set list comprised of The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, the whole album, and then usually they do like Watch of the Skies and Musical Box as an encore, which are 2 of my favorite songs. So, I mean, how could I not put it on the list? But I think the theatrics are really what makes the tour because they had like projections of a bunch of different random pictures. They had Peter Gabriel and all these wild costumes. They had like in the last song they had a dummy of Peter Gabriel and him on one side of the stage, so you couldn't really tell where he was. Just a really cool tour, and it's like a theatric show. Almost, it's like a mix between like a play / musical and a rock concert, which I think is a match made in heaven.
So kind of like Alice Cooper's.
Yes.
Yeah. And if you can't tell, I am getting sick, so if I sound like absolute garbage, that is why. Anyway.
All right, my number 2 tour is David Bowie's Ziggy Stardust tour.
Oh, cool.
Cool. Let me pull it up on Wikipedia just so I can get the information right. It had 6 legs, started on January 29th, 1972, and ended July 3rd, 1973. And there was 191 shows.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
He fit a lot in that time period.
Yeah, it's just a lot of concerts. But, I mean, it was an incredible tour. And he did a lot he did stuff from, his first album, self-titled album, all the way up through Aladdin Sane. And he did a couple extra songs, like it's the Ziggy Stardust live album from the last show. He did, like, Love Me Do in a medley with Gene Genie.
Oh, cool.
So that's pretty cool. But, yeah, just an incredible tour. Again, you're probably starting to see a theme. I love theatric tours. I think it just adds an extra layer to go seeing a concert.
And wasn't he playing like an alien?
Yep.
That was Ziggy Stardust. His first album. It is horrendous. I've listened to it.
You're thinking of the one with the head in the middle of it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's like posing
What?
with that weird like Beatles haircut, but worse than the Beatles haircut, and it's strange.
I mean, at least it has Space Oddity on it. Or are we thinking of 2 different albums?
Oh, we're thinking of 2 different albums.
Yeah, I think we are.
Because he had his first self-titled, which was his first album. And then he had...
Okay, yeah, he played stuff from the second self-titled album.
Okay, so that's good. That's okay. His first album, like, before that...
Awful.
Horrible.
But yeah, it's an incredible tour. There's a live album of the last show that he ever did as Ziggy with the Spiders from Mars, which is pretty dang cool. I mean, he did some of my favorite songs, Changes, Life on Mars, Moon Age Daydream.
Changes.
Gene Genie. Just an incredible set list from my personal favorite period of David Bowie. And if you haven't checked out the live album, go check it out. It'll kind of give you a feel for what the concerts were like.
Yeah.
All right, number 1 on my list of tours is... Meanwhile, Brodie's doing a drum solo. The Wall Tour by Pink Floyd.
Oh, I figured it would be on there somewhere, but...
I mean...
Number 1, wow.
It's just an incredible tour. Again, and I've said this, I love theatric tours, and this is like the most
The most, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're literally building a wall on stage as they're playing the concert. Like, that's just a feat in and of itself. And the shows were just incredible. They played the wall the whole way through. They did all this, like, weird theatrical stuff where the first song, In the Flesh, they had played by a band wearing masks of their faces. They had David Gilmour on top of the wall for the Comfortably Numb solo, which is awesome. And then at the end of the show, they knocked down the wall.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like,
oh, wow.
They knocked it over. It's so cool. Yeah. Look up some concert footage if you can.
Yeah.
There's a lot. It's hard to find on, like, CD. But there's a live album called Is There Anybody Out There from the tour. So if you can check that out, do whatever you have to do to see it. Listen to the album, watch some concert footage if you can find some. But it's just an incredible tour, and in my opinion, deserves to be the number 1 greatest tour of all time.
That's cool. Okay, so before we end, I have some sad news. So my cousin, that is like a month older than me, has just gotten diagnosed with cancer. It's by her brainstem. It's in her head, by her lymph nodes and everything. And I just like to give time right now for you to be able to go donate. I will put the GoFundMe up right now. And I hope that you will be able to help her out, because this is a very sad time and they need all the peace and love they can get. So please try to help them out. Anyway, I'm Brodie.
I'm Wyatt.
And thank you for tuning in.